Okay, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100. We have a lot to talk about here on the day. You can see SPY here on the day is down $2, almost $3, but dropping here in the after hours. That being said, you were looking very good, and something did happen early on or later on in the day because you were pushing local highs. Again, we were pushing towards 600 like we talked about, but you found sellers as the day progressed. And I'm going to tell you right, I'm not going to BS you. I'm going to get right to it. Basically, you have the rumble in the jungle of events between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. You've had Elon Musk accusing Trump of being on the Epstein files. You have Elon Musk saying Trump would have won the election without him. Elon Musk is saying that a recession is going to happen to the market in the second half of this year based off of Trump's tariffs. The spending bill is going to push the Americans into slavery. These are all words Elon is saying. I'm going to do my best to not make this video a video on Elon, Tesla, and Trump. I'm going to make a video later on that as well, but I want to make this video more about the market, what to expect, and what to be looking for, okay? Because up until 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock today, you were looking great. You were looking awesome, right? And it's important that you understand what was happening until that happened, right? I mean, you were booming, right? We were moving. NASDAQ, almost into 22,000. I mean, you're just printing money to the upside, right? The story didn't stop. And then on top of that, you had news out of China and with Trump calling President Xi of China, right? So things were working in the favor of the market, right? In a great way. And then, like I said, things took a sharp turn when this happened. Now, the thing for me, the more I look at this, is like, man, I was a little bit unaware that Elon had this much influence on the economy. So I don't want to go into this mentality of like saying, okay, this is it. You've topped out. You have to drop this, and this is going to happen, because I don't necessarily believe that. Now, again, this is one move. This is literally 4 hours of price action. So we need to get more overall reaction, seeing what's happening there, right? Now, I'm going to spend a lot of time today on the chart. Okay, we don't have a lot of news coming out tomorrow. I think you have non-farm payrolls, which that is big, don't get me wrong. But you have some unemployment data, but nothing crazy. I don't think anything's going to shake up here. So when I'm looking at the chart, I'm going to get rid of the level so you can see. Again, right now, what I will say that's bad is you have around 700 points on the NASDAQ back into the 200 SMA. That's red flag number one. That's worst case scenario as far as being bearish, is just seeing a retrace back into the 200 SMA, right? ES, you're basically like 40 points away. That can happen quick. You were literally there on Monday. Wouldn't be surprising to me if we touched that at all. So I'm waiting to see how we react in the after hours. How does Asia, London react to the market? Do we find buyers? And what really develops over time there. So that's what we really have to focus on today, of the levels you need to be watching going into the next trading session to understand what to do and how to kind of navigate the market. Now, before we do that, I want to say right now, if you're interested, you want to see how we trade everything that we do, the link to Discord is down below. You get to see how we trade every single day. I go over futures before the market ever even opens. I go over my top trades, what I'm expecting overall, etc. Right? So again, one of the things that I mentioned today, this morning, was going into Affirm, and I want to go really quickly into that as well. I keep not being able to find it, but I called out Affirm today. That was one of the big trades that we had here. Monster trade, did really, really well. Mentioned it this morning as well. So that was one of the big ones that we had there. You go a little bit further, we had more trades as well. We had Affirm, the 200 SMA, pushing it to 57, 58. That was one trade there. Tesla to the downside, went short on that as well, below 317 down to the 100, then the 200, and then we went short again. So again, another monster trade there. You had Meta above VWAP, breaking into 695. So again, there's a lot of trades there as well. Jordan's calling his trades all day as well. So if you want to see how we trade, what we trade, that might be for you. The link is down there so you can see the profits from Discord as well. So again, that's all there for you. Education, recaps, all that stuff. Now, going a step further, looking in the market, okay? Right now, I think some of the biggest areas that we have to look for is, number one, what else does Elon say? And again, this is like, you're not gonna be able to predict this, because I mean, if I woke up this morning and had on my bingo card, Elon Musk accuses Donald Trump of being on the Epstein list, it wouldn't have been there. It wouldn't have been on my third bingo card, okay? Is it crazy to think about? Not really. Like, it's totally possible, like, to be totally honest. But I wouldn't have expected Elon to go so drastic, right? He went from saying he loves Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man to saying this. So what you have to be looking at, and then how the market is also responding to that. Now, from there, again, I'm going to go straight into levels because I think that's what really matters here on the day. As you look at the S&P and we look at SPY, a few things that I wanted to see overall, bringing the levels back up here, is I wanted to see us hold above 595. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now we're looking at 590, 590.7. If that breaks, you're looking for 586, and then under 586, you're looking for the gap fill near 581, 580, then into the 200 SMA. That can start to snowball really quickly. Staying on SPY and the S&P 500, I move towards ES and what's happening there. I think ES is in a world of pain in the short term. Not a crazy amount, but I think ES is pretty likely, right? Pretty likely to kind of have to move this level just so you can. I just put the level right on top of the 200 SMA, right there near 58.97, 58.98, near 5,900 flat, right? I'd be willing to bet heavy that you're going to test that tonight or tomorrow morning. Very likely. If you don't, that's incredibly bullish, in my personal opinion. If you continue to make stronger, higher lows off this, you don't even get a real retrace, that's a great sign, right? Now, my gut here, just outside looking in, yes, this is a stronger reaction to some of the sell side that we're seeing from the highs on the day to where we're at now. I don't think this is going to be what carries us to the downside. Could it be? Maybe. We'll see. You lose the 200 SMA, things could change really quick. Now, from there, we go into NASDAQ and QQQ. Now, QQQ, you're respecting your levels like perfect, right? You got a little bit of a 531, quickly got back below it in the hour, went down to 527, flipped, as you can see, it rejected there. Now you're pushing back down to 521. You lose 521, you're back in your range. And this is why I'm saying that I'm not at that point of being super concerned just yet, because you're just back in your range, right? Remember, we talked about this. You sat here for basically 3 weeks, right? Just sitting in a box, rectangle, whatever you want to consider it. NASDAQ, you can really see, you sat in this range. Like, nothing has really changed. So before everyone freaks out, you have to, take a step back and say, okay, well, how have we been here before? And yes, you're at levels that you haven't seen since Monday evening. Like, very important to understand that. And if you bounce here, you look really good. So important to know where we're at, what's happening so far. Now, also, too, you did have some earnings here tonight, right? You had AVGO, which, again, AVGO has been one of the top stocks out there in the market. We all know it's been the best performing semiconductor, and they did well in earnings, but again, you're getting a pullback. Now, someone asked me in Discord today, did I like AVGO for earnings? I don't typically like trading earnings at all, but I really don't like betting long on earnings when a stock is pumping into its earnings, especially if it's like a large cap name, like top 10. It's just a risky. There's no real reward opportunity. So to make money on AVGO earnings, you would have to hit like 270 in the after hours, and I would wanted to bet on that, right? But right now, what am I watching on AVGO? And I'm going to go into why this is so important. Is again just your previous highs are right here, so you can see 251, 252. How do you react there? Again, just seeing can we get that continuation and where we're at. SMH has been one of the biggest catalysts here. Again, we talked about this. You got above 239. You pushed into 253. We also talked about the range in which you were trading in, which was right here. And again, now today, again, as bad as things look on the end of the day, right? If from the outside looking in, if you just, went to lunch and came back at the end of the day, like, oh, God, this looks terrible, right? As bad as that all may sound, all you're doing is breaking out and retesting most of these highs right now. Now, the question is, do you bounce, do you buy or show up where they need to show up? That's the real question. So, again, I'm not going to get in the game of predicting X, Y, and Z. I'm usually in the game of reacting to the levels that we're watching. So if we start losing back below 240 on SMH and semiconductors start to roll over a little bit, then yeah, just trade the downside, trade the bottom of the range of what we're looking at. That makes the most logical sense. But you don't need to be the person that's getting in at the absolute top or the absolute bottom. You can typically wait, make sure the trade gets in your favor, and execute based off of that. And you put yourself in a much better position to win a trade every single time when you're just a little bit more patient. Yeah, you may take some of your profit potential off the table, but typically you can reduce the chance of you losing that trade by just waiting a little bit longer, which is usually what I recommend, right? Unless I have a very strong feeling. If you have that strong gut feeling, don't let me discourage you. YOLO it and do what you got to do, man, right? Now, as far as stocks, I'm liking it to tomorrow. Now, we'll start with the weak names, obviously. The weakest names, in my opinion, I think Tesla is the dog in this race right now. In my opinion, the biggest level you're watching is 271, give or take. If you start to lose 270, 271, I think this thing rolls over quick, right? I mean, the fact that you went below your 200 SMA and dropped another $20 is beyond me. But if you lose 270 here, 271, I'm targeting 262, 263 in a hurry, right? And again, if Elon continues to attack this and go at this, you have to assume the market looks at this from a sell side, right, or sell side type of trade. The next stock that I'd be looking at too is Apple. Apple continues to reject a 203.8, 204. I told you guys yesterday what we did, and honestly, one of our best like trades of the year was this this action on Apple. And everything that I do here is always based off the levels that I talk about, right? I'm never like keeping like some secret ace in my pocket that's like, oh, I didn't tell the boys about the trading plan, right? Like, ooh, secret trade alert, secret trade. It's not how this really works, right? So if I go into technicals, I go back to yesterday's action here on Apple. All I did on here on Apple, right here, trying to mount, this is yesterday, 8:37 a.m. We're looking for the mount of this level 203.8 into 206.3. And then as we progress, I was like, look, guys, you're looking weaker. So as we hit this level, I'm looking to go short near 206, back to the downside, literally as it happened. I said right here, hitting 206 now. If you don't want to be greedy, don't take the short, but short's a pure technical trade here, back to the downside. And then obviously you rejected and went back down. So that was just an awesome, like, technical trade. Like, not got to flex a little bit occasionally, right? Got to flex a little bit, right? But that was a great trade. But anyways, if Apple starts getting back below 199.6, again, your 2023 highs, I'm pretty weak on Apple. So again, you get below that, I'd be looking for pain there as well. Okay. Now, again, strongest names out there. Netflix is still a beast. It's still a clear monster. You're still sitting at 1250. If the market bounces back at all, NASDAQ finds buyers, Netflix is going to continue to run. Simple as that. Keep it on your watch list. Meta has been another really strong name that I've been watching. Me and Jordan have been talking a lot about. I think this is still one of the best overall names out there. What I would love to see is this hold above 685. If you can't do that, you're going to be in pain. You want to see the bounce, a good reaction off that as well. You stay below 685, you don't really want to go heavy on it. You want to wait. 675 is the support. You lose that, you're probably coming back down to 660, 668, target number one. Kind of the range I'd be looking at there as well. Okay. A step further as well, NVIDIA still looks fine, but you're below 141. Below that, I don't love it to the upside. I'd be looking for downside into 136 from here if you continue to find selling. Not necessarily a strong name. Microsoft has been one of the strongest names in the market. I would still respect it as such. You've made new all-time highs here in the day. Above 468.2, it's a long. Price discovery, that's what you're looking at. You may not get a crazy volatility, but again, you have to respect it when it's in price discovery and where it's at right now. Very overall strong name. AVGO, again, if you stay above 252, 251.7, it's a long for me. I still think it's going to be a strong reaction. A good idea of what AVGO could possibly do. I don't want to say it's going to do exactly the same movement, but it reminds me of CrowdStrike, right? CrowdStrike ran really good into earnings into 490, almost 500. Dipped after earnings. Earnings weren't really that bad. So what happened there on CrowdStrike, right? You stay above your kilo of 456, you trade it to the upside like 3 times. You're still sitting there, right? So AVGO, if it stays above 252, same overall type of trade. How I look to attack that as well. Those are my top overall names right now. That's what I'm looking at. If you have any questions, let me know down below. But overall, that's how I'm looking at the market. Made a short video here on the day. Twitter link is down below. All that stuff. I'll have more updates coming out on Twitter, TikTok, whatever it may be. Have a good one, traders. See you tomorrow.